Hello, my name's Alexis, and today for vlog number 2, I chose to watch the movie Citizen Kane, 1941. So something that I read was this movie was said that it redefined the look of modern American cinema and changed forever the way in which American audiences and film historians talked about the movie, which I thought that was really cool, and I did not know that prior. While I was watching this movie, one thing that really stood out to me and something that I really deeply enjoyed was how the producers used lighting to their advantage while in this film. And so something I'd like to add about that is even though this movie was from the 1940s, they could still use, even though they didn't have the best technology like we have now, they could still use lighting to their advantage to make the movie seem more intense and more dramatic with the lighting. Okay, so a specific lighting choice that I saw in their movie that we actually did talk about in class was top lighting. So as we know, top lighting is where there's a light that kind of is placed above the subject, creating somewhat of a dramatic shadow and kind of highlights things. So where I saw this top lighting was, and this was one of the best scenes in the movie that I saw the top lighting, and it was when Miss Anderson walked into this big room. It was really empty. There was a table, then a couple chairs, and then a guy standing right here. And this room, it kind of looked like a jail cell almost. It was so empty. It was really it looked kind of scary. But anyways, so she, as I said, she walked into the room, and so she stood right here, and there was this light that was kind of shining right down on her, and it was coming from the ceiling. It almost looked like they had a sort of skylight, and this was her just shining right down on it. And Miss Anderson, she looked really mystical almost. She looked kind of just she looked very important, she had a lot to say. She was just you could really, all of your attention was just focused on Miss Anderson when she walked in that room with that top lighting on her. And now I want to talk about soft lighting, and I did notice a good use of soft lighting in this film. And soft lighting is kind of a lighting that diffuses light, and it creates gentle shadows almost. Okay, and again with Miss Anderson, she was seen in a room. It kind of looked like an office building. She's seen this office building look-alike. And there was this plaque on the wall, and it said Walter Parks Thatcher. And she was talking to this man, and there was a very soft light on her and her body, and it made her really stand out compared to the other guy. So I really think that was an awesome use of soft lighting because she was the main focus rather than the guy standing next to her. So something in the beginning of the movie that I really liked was how the movie kind of started out with this eerie, kind of creepy music, and then there was this scene where there was fog shown next to this house-looking building. I thought that was really cool to start the movie with, because as it goes on, the movie gets a little bit more upbeat kind of, and it's not all just this eeriness like they started in the beginning. So it's kind of they were trying to set up the movie, but then they kind of did something else, but they still stayed with the same idea that they had. And I thought that was really cool because they changed things up throughout the movie. And once again, while I was watching the movie, I saw a great example of the 3-point system. And a good example of that is in the beginning of the movie, there were these 3 men standing outside, and they were all in the light, and that light was coming from above them. And then one of the men skateboarded away from the others, and while the other 2 men were still there, they still had the light on them and they still looked there. But as the other guy skateboarded away, he kind of almost looked more 3-dimensional than the other 2 somehow. I thought it was really cool, and I really thought that was a great example of how filmmakers could use the 3-point system to illustrate that sort of act. And then something really cool that I thought about the end of the movie was how at the very end we figured out what/who Rosebud was, and we could see that it was a sled, and at the end of the movie the sled did get burned. And in my opinion, I thought that was really interesting that they did that, and I really liked how that was the way that they chose to conclude the film. So thank you for watching my vlog number 2. Have a good day.